In the upper left, folks, in the red, he is for the Shopify Rebellion. Looked pretty good against Rex. Let's see if he can do it again. It's Byun. Bottom right in the blue for Prep Esports. It's Classic. Well, yeah, but Sasha, the problem is with this is it's not easy to edit what the names are. So yes, I understand that is a thing and it is very, very useful. But when we're talking about like, okay, who of the two players are going to win and you want the player names in there, it doesn't really work super well. Hey, Josh, thanks so much for the follow, or the raid, excuse me. And now we are here truly in game number 1. I just realized I forgot to record for YouTube, so we're getting that started right now. But don't worry, we didn't miss out on anything, YouTube, if you're watching. I just forgot to hit recording slightly too late, which meant that you missed out on intros, but really nothing much else. But all right, so Byun actually is going double gas opener, factory as well. And we've actually, I keep saying this, but these are just things we've started to see Byun do more and more recently, leaning into a TVT opener in TVP, heavy aggression, trying to knock his opponent out before the game goes too late. Because, well, in general, we've started to see Protoss players go more and more into this lower tech, higher map presence, higher agency type of game. And then if you can just shove their face in with Cyclones and Marines and do a big gate push, it works out very, very well indeed. So Classic, I think as expected, he's opening Stargate here on Moondance. That's what we see him do quite a bit. It's how it's what he brought back, right? When he came back from the military, he was doing this charge lot, Phoenix Storm idea that kind of he was reminded of, or he seemed to remind pro players of just a little bit. Now, 2 Reapers and Hellion versus an Adept. That is a fight that will be won here by the army of Byun, but there's a shield battery and a second Adept. So Byun does have to back up. He has to run away, fight again, maybe another day. As the Reapers show up in the high ground here, and they're going to look for whatever they can find, but we don't know. I mean, it's going to get 1 probe, maybe. No, not even that. But still, it's 3 Adepts on the map, which is interesting. That's not what we see Protoss players get normally, but it is, of course, because, well, Classic's trying to get his Phoenix out ASAP, which means you don't want those Stalkers. They're a little bit too gas expensive. But look at this. That is a rather quick robo after the Stargate. So maybe it actually is going to be Phoenix Colossus instead of Phoenix Charge. I just kind of defaulted to Phoenix Charge because that is just how I see Classic play more often than anything. But Phoenix Colossus equally viable a little bit. So, Cyclone now on the way, additional Marines as well. This push from Byun is getting ready. It's not here. It's not ready just yet, but it is getting ready soon enough. All right, so the Viking is out. Cyclones are on the way. Classic seems to have some inkling that there is aggression that will be happening because, well, he's got an Immortal out, or he's got an Immortal on the way soon enough here. But Byun, this is kind of cool. He's got his 3rd base on the way. It's not 6 minutes, not 7 minutes. It's not as quick as possible, though. It's just kind of this middle ground. So as much as it's kind of looked like he is wanting to go with his push with the Cyclone, with the Viking, with these Marines, and with the gas first, seems like that is not what he's going to go for. As Classic will find the Widow Mine. Marines got to be careful that they're not going to go into no man's land where they just get knocked down. And the Phoenix will delay the 3rd base, but that's also a fantastic scout there. Is it worth trading a Viking or a Phoenix for? The answer is doesn't matter because it is going to be traded. Now Viking shows up a little bit more. It's low. And a couple of CVs have fallen, but still, good job there. And there's going to be another lock-on right now. Got to see the lift, and there we go. But still, getting very, very low. And still the 3rd base, will be delayed yet more. Viking goes down. Well played there by Classic. And it seems like we're not going to see the aggression that I was expecting. The aggression that I was talking about in this game number 1 from Byun. Instead, he's taking double gas, double eBay, getting his third base down, and now it is going to be slower than it possibly could have been because, of course, SCV was killed twice. But still going to be a fantastic time. He's now 4 additional barracks are on the way, and I wonder how much of this is what was that that just died? Okay, scouting Hellion. I wonder how much of this, the way Byun is playing here, was because he was scouted, and how much of this was just this is how he kind of wanted to play anyways. Early stuff to make sure that he can represent threat and maybe not die as Classic runs out on the other side of the map. Is, by the way, Classic's third base is behind Byun's here, so Classic has incentive to get damage done. We'll put it that way. But he is up 11 army supply, so he's in a position where he could make that happen. And because we don't really have that many tanks, Byun only now completing his additional production. So here comes Classic. 3 Phoenix in the sky. They're going to lift the Cyclones, looking to lift tanks. And with these Immortals on the ground, well, it is a lot of damage. That is now going to get ready. But there we go. Great force field from Classic to start things out. And that is going to immediately be a dead Cyclone. Colossus joining the fray as well. Extended Thermal Lance not ready just yet, but done rather soon. And now Byun finds himself supply blocked just a little bit. Remember, Moondance is a map that is very quick, natural to natural. It is very quick. So you don't even really need a Warp Prison. You can spend all the robo time building observers and Colossus and Immortals and just really rally your army onto the other side. But I think Classic made the decision that Byun was turtled up, and while he got some supply depots, and that was nice, he was not going to break Byun. Actually, that was still a fantastic force field, snapping down the Cyclone like that. So, a bunch more gateways on the way for Classic as he has established his third base and immediately going into that fourth base as well. Charge not even done as he looks to take the fourth base. Yeah, okay, that's a lot of gateways. He's adding on 8. How many does he even have? So he's going up to 10 gateways here. Second Forge as well. But with the Templar Archives getting added in, well, I'm curious to see whether he's actually going to get Storm, because right now he's only on 5 gas. He's going to get 6 soon enough, but right now he's on 5 because he has taken the pocket base, but just doesn't have as much money in it. And that does slow down your tech just a little bit. But charge just about done. Byun drop in the main base, 3 medevacs and a Raven, which means any Colossus that arrive, they're just going to immediately get shut down here. So stimming in, he's actually got 4 Marines in the medevac that he doesn't need to allow out of it. And there he will go down. So Templar Archives will fall into the main base. It's really actually only the tech here in the army. I would have thought Byun with the Raven would try to fight that, but he's not going to do so. And, well, we do have a Phoenix in the third base looking for some damage. And while they do get very low, they are starting to find significant SCV damage here. So 6 workers will go down, where they will find a missile turret in the main base, but not dying. Great control there from Classic as Byun seems to be waffling in the middle of the map. I'm curious to see what he wants to do. Here's the Phoenix. They're going to try to find their way out, and they will be successful. These 4 Phoenix have been so powerful. These Phoenix have been so powerful in this game. As Classic, he's got Warp Prism speed all the way behind this. That is, I don't know that we're that late enough in the game for that, but that's what he's absolutely going for. That's pretty cool. We're going to have to see, because Classic does have 4 bases all set up. Byun's still only on 3, but his 4th command center on the way. And folks, we're getting exactly what I wanted to see. Byun and Classic in a late game slobber knocker, and honestly, the game has been relatively uninteractive thus far. Byun's lost a little more, but we're below 2,000 resources lost aside. I mean, this is nothing. But it does mean we get the players. They max out. Ghosts on the way now for Byun. 2-2 as well. 2-1 for Classic as he got his 4th base, 5th base on the way. Byun taking his 4th. And that's part of the fun of Moondance. Your 4 bases, it's very hard for anyone to break. So you just don't even try sometimes. And there we go. Second robot on the way. So Classic getting ready for his disruptor transition behind this. Blink is now done. And remember, Byun is one of these players that does not like to build Vikings. He doesn't really have any right now. But this position, I don't know that this is one you attack into, Classic. Oh, the anti-armor missiles. Well, 1 Colossus will be disabled. And you can absolutely fight 2 Colossus if you are Byun. But the big Zealot warping in the main base. Actually, the Sim City from Byun in the main base is fantastic. Yes, 1 barracks will go down, but he's staying alive. Doing a great job there. So, now Zealots will fall. Some SCVs have died, actually. A couple Zealots will punch their way through this wall, and then will find their way into the mineral line. So 10 SCVs have gone down. Classic on the left side looking for a little bit more. Looking for that damage that he's yet to find. But 10 SCVs is a nice start. fifth base on the way for Byun. And actually, Classic, if he attacks in from this side, he may be able to cancel this fifth base. So Classic, he tried to find some value, and actually, is the Raven's still alive? No, the Raven did go down in that aggression from the Phoenix. Or the Stalker's, not sure. Doesn't matter. Raven is dead, and it did a great job of allowing Byun to take a fight that he realistically probably should have struggled to take, but you disable one and you knock down the armor of the other two Colossus. It works out fairly well for you, as now again dropping the main base here, bombing Zealots on top of everything, and that was a supply depot canceled. The barracks will get, well, it's going to get delayed, but not really much of anything else. But there we go. That's the big warp in, and Byun, he's so smart here. He just keeps, well, really a triple drop in his main base, or in really just floating around, because wherever the Zealots go, he's just going to drop right on top of them. But even still, 13 workers go down. He has to evacuate this pocket base. Meanwhile, Classic trying to find advantage on the top side. He's going to get damage done on the building command center, but that is just about that. So Byun still bending, not breaking, but Classic starting to build his bank, starting to build that army, starting to build that economy, really, that he wants to build. Was that we just went down? It doesn't show us. I guess the supply depot. So Byun scans out the main, scans out the pocket base. He's looking for, well, what he's going to find. He sees the Chrono there on the Stargate, sees the fleet beacon, so he's going to understand now that carriers are on the way. And even if Byun, if you don't want to build Vikings against Colossus, you got to build them against carriers. I don't know how Classic goes high ground here, though. Okay, more warp-ins into the main base, but actually this time it is DT, and they don't really seem to get that much done. So Byun starting to lock down things a little bit more. His fifth base moving over on the north side, and we got to assume this will be a planetary, but one thing that Byun has... Oh, that's actually a planetary, never mind. Byun has been messing around with going 4 orbital, 4 base a little bit, especially against heavy DT play or something like that. Oh, that's a big disruptor shot on the right side, though, because here comes Classic finding his way in. Disruptor's looking for the value, and the army of Byun is just evaporating. The supply is telling me one story, but the army I see here is telling me just very much another. That disruptor shot on the right side evaporated Byun, and I guess really with the story we can tell is, okay, that's a lot of tanks sitting there defensively, and Byun loses it a lot. But that really just equalizes things, because Classic has been throwing a lot of his production away, a lot of his Zealots away rather recently. So Byun, he does have 5 bases now. Planetary just about done, adding additional command centers. And got to point out Byun pulled a Byun, and his armor is very late compared to his attack upgrade. But 2 more carriers are on the way. Seems like this Warp Prism... Yeah, okay, that's dead. I don't... Wish I knew it was in it. Sounds like it was just Zealots, though. But still, nice pick off there from Byun on the Warp Prism. Scanning out the right side. It's not really going to see anything. Oh, he's going to see the carriers, I think. So here comes the army of Classic in earnest. But this tank spread from Byun, I mean, my goodness, you cannot show up in this area. So now Byun trying to chase some things down. EMPing on the army. Vikings, well, there's just not enough of them. Not really. Ghost will fall. You need more than that. You absolutely need more than just 2 Vikings to make sure that you can deal with this. But Byun seems to be of the opinion that, why build Vikings when I can build Ghosts? When I can build Marines? When I can do all of those other wonderful things instead of, building the Vikings that actually kill the carriers. Okay, so Byun maxing out once again. We look at resource loss here, and I mean, it's dead even heat 15 minutes in. But the big deal, of course, is that Byun has not been able to exert his will on the map for the most part. He did have that one drop that, well, killed a Templar Archives, and that really was just about it. Got a pylon down, I think, but not much damage. Where is... A couple SCVs went down, but I don't really see what's happening there. Is good EMPs actually... Okay, what was in that? Was that 2 Immortals? I think that was... I think that was Immortals, because I don't see any Immortals in... Oh no, I think that was Disruptors. I think that was Disruptor drops. I'm sorry I didn't click on it in time, but that was clutch there from Byun. That could have been a lot of damage, but instead that was expensive as hell coming in from Classic. So now Byun, he ratchets down things once again. he stays alive, and now he's just building so many orbitals, so many command centers. At this point, he can scan wherever the hell he wants. And he continues to expand across the map, octopusing it out. But Classic doing even better. We gotta, man, the Classic carrier, or the Broodwar carrier skins as well, make me very happy. Classic carrier skins for the classic StarCraft player. You know how it works. It makes sense. But yeah, now adding in more and more missile turrets all over the place. Make sure he's safe from this aggression. And look at this. He's got double planetary. He's got double planetary at his 5th base. Normally you see like one orbital, one planetary, and you say that's good enough, but that's not what happens here. There's nice EMPs on the Stalker to start. The Disruptor shot goes out. Oh, great EMP on the High Templar there. And he'll just get sniped down with extreme prejudice. Byun moves forward, but you gotta be careful. There are so many interceptors on the map, 60 of them. And actually the addition of Widow Mines are so cool because technically they will be able to fight that one. Storm goes down, but it really does not find much of anything here. Byun has to retreat back home. The interceptor count cut in half. That was 30 interceptors going down. Couple disruptors, couple High Templar for really Marines, Marauders, 1 Ghost. Very cost effective for Byun, and that is how these games tend to go in the mid game. Classic is looking so good. He dominates. He finds so much value, and then the game goes late. Byun shows us how well he can turtle or how well he can counterattack, whatever it is. He wins every game differently. And eventually we start to see some extremely lopsided resources lost ideas. But now Byun's going to find this pressure in the middle of the map, and all these shield batteries will go down. Byun's going to target them before really much of anything can happen. 2 High Templar and a Warp Prism. But Byun retreats backwards to the safety of his defensive line, of his orbitals, of his sensor towers, of his missile turrets. But he has taken the last base that he can reasonably take from this position. Okay, so Byun now, he's on 6 bases, but Classic he's on, what is that, 7? And honestly, I feel like he could probably take this 8th base, well, at least for a while. And now that stack defense is getting set up. All right, we are now in this position where, at least in the middle of the map, Classic has this position he can fight under that gives him more shields, that adds a little bit more damage to his army that is not supplied. Much like Byun has set up on the left side here. But what is our Viking count? It's at 13. And the storms don't land incredibly just to start. And actually, I think we just saw all of the disruptors shoot their loads and good EMPs as well. So now Byun in the dead airspace, but great storm there on the Vikings. They do have to kite backwards a little bit more. They go forward again. Stalkers blink forward. 1 carrier will fall. Viking count still pretty healthy. He only lost 3. 9 carriers still remain on the field though. And Byun, he has this big gas bank, but his mineral bank, he's not actually building it up. He's spending it more on more buildings, more command centers, more missile turrets. And eventually we're going to hit to this point where he wants to throw some of these 85 SCVs away. Eventually we're going to hit this point where his army, where he just wants 150, 160 supply of army and really just uses SCVs for gas mining. But it seems like we're not there just yet. Scans may be a little bit too powerful. Classic wants to get rid of these immortals in a productive way, so he's gonna send them topside where there is no base, but Byun is aware of that because he just is scanning pretty much everywhere as the Colossus, everything runs forward. Just 1 disruptor falls. Nice job there, Byun. Now the Vikings, they feel emboldened. They can run forward. Those are some dead carriers, or at least some very low ones. And a carrier will fall, but it's so hard for Byun to fight into this position, although it's kind of an Artosis and Tasteless pylon. Only 2 of them there powering everything, and that storm whiffs. It was trying to catch Byun as he ran forward, but Byun just didn't run forward, so he will knock down all of this static defense in the middle of the map, and SCVs are now being sacrificed. We're finally hitting that point when we are now sitting on 7 orbitals, 2 extra command centers, and, well, God knows how many planetaries. We are hitting this position where, yeah, the SCVs have to be dealt with. The Byun wants a little bit less. So SCVs running into the natural, and I swear, if they kill this Cybercore, I will be very amused, but I don't think they will. As Byun trying to set up his position on this next base of Classic, we're finally in this position where Classic has to take those outlying bases. Byun will have to as well, but right now the Vikings on the high ground, on that dead airspace, looking for the pot shots, but Tempest can do that as well. So Byun trying to clear up some space here, drops a nuke down. SCVs still not dealt with necessarily, and disruptor shots, well, they will just not find the Ghost. So the nuke looks like it will complete. That's going to knock down actually a lot of the stack defense here coming in from Classic. And there we go. The pylon goes down. The cannons go down. That unlocks this position for Byun. He can go higher. He can go further. SCVs, I like this. If you want to get them knocked away, at least, repair. Use them to keep your stuff alive as 9 SCVs go down. Finally, the SCVs die, but a little damage on the Cybercore is enough. So, Byun having lost 13 workers in recently, he was like, oh wow, that's bad for him. No, he's still on Stephanie, and he has so many bases that it does not problem. Oh, great storms there on the Vikings. They're going to force them back. Vikings looking for a second shot, but not really able to find it. So Classic, though, he still takes damage there. He still lost the Tempest. He still lost the Warp Prism, but that was a much more cost-effective trade for Classic in that last fight. We got to be careful here. As Classic finds his way on the high ground, Byun maybe has a surround opportunity. EMP's blanket everything. Another carrier will fall. But as these interceptors are released, you got to run away here, Byun. There's just so much damage in this army. Ghost is starting to fall just a little bit more. Disruptor shots go out. Vikings run forward, but the Stalkers are there to knock them down. And Byun, he doesn't want to be taking the fight here. No, not really. He's going to find a bunch of Stalkers on the right side. Disruptor shot actually is going to be very nice indeed. And Byun, it's funny enough, but he's got to take some more bases. He's on 6, but he needs to go more than that. Now the carriers there, interceptors all released, but only 48 of them because, well, the missile turrets are doing a good job. The Marines on the ground are doing a decent job here. But Classic, he feels like he's found an opportunity. Stalkers pulling forward, trying to knock down the Vikings as well as they can. Remember, these Vikings, they do have armor now. It's only +1, but they are a little bit tankier, and it is the storms they are scared of more than anything else. Stalkers move forward, trying to knock this down, but the bio has to run backwards. We're at the point where there's just not enough bio for Byun right now, really, to keep these Vikings alive. And Classic is starting to take some of the bases that Byun would like eventually. The bottom left, middle left. That is technically a Byun base. But Classic is taking in as much. We're starting to hit that point, honestly, where this game is starting to feel like a late game TVZ, where we need to start talking about how Protoss needs to start stealing money from the Terran. Because it feels like the Terran... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Terran is going to be trading... Well, I was going to say marginally more efficiently, but I guess that's what it is. About 1,000 resources at this point. DTs will get found out here. Nice vision there from Byun. Snipes down. Actually, okay. Blink disjoints. I guess I didn't realize that Shadow Step also, or Shadow Stride also disjoints, but the army of Classic on the left side, there really is nothing here to defend this. Byun's army is kind of going to a base trade scenario a little bit, trying to bring the Vikings over on the understanding that the ground army is not scary. It is really just these Vikings, or just the carriers and the Tempest in the sky. So actually, he's found a great position here, and we see a bunch of carriers go down. Byun loses a base, but he gets one from Classic as well. Storms get dropped, but another carrier falls, and the Vikings really not taking too much damage just yet, sitting there in the dead airspace like they are. But now the interceptors are out, Stalkers blink forward, and the Planetary actually is doing a great job knocking these Stalkers down. Byun gets another base for his troubles. But remember, Classic's economy is on the bottom left side of the map. Byun is effectively knocking down bases that Classic does not care about. Meanwhile, Classic has killed bases that Byun does care about. But the big prize, the Tempest, the carriers that have fallen down in this engagement. 5 carriers, the Tempest, 6 Dark Templar, all hitting the deck. That was a pretty fresh base for Byun. And he lost, well, a Planetary, 2 more orbitals. All that is, well, it's a lot of stuff, I guess, shall we say. Every look at resources lost here. Classic, yes, he got a base, he got the more important mining base, but now he lost about 3,000 more resources in that fight, and Byun feeling emboldened to be on the map once again. But again, Classic is mining more, and he has that bank. So we're going to have to see how Classic can utilize that, turn this into an actual supply advantage, a game state advantage, because Byun's found the base, that left side base that Classic cares about so much here. But the cannons for the moment are doing a great job. Storms, oh, it's actually going to be feedbacks on the Ghost, but there are more Ghosts where that came from, so it's not really doing all that much. DT's on the right side. There are so many of them, doesn't matter that the Planetary is trying to kill them off. Actually, wait a minute, the repair seems like it's going to be good. Meanwhile, fight in the middle of the map here. Vikings run forward, get a little bit more, and the Colossus starting to fall. What is our air army? What is our army from Classic? It's only 4 carriers at a moment. Byun, yes, he lost his economy, but, well, the repairs are good enough on the top side, so Byun gets his economy there. Classic loses another base. Classic loses 6 carriers, 2 Tempest, 14 DTs, a Colossus. He's lost so damn much over the last minute or so that... It's funny how we talked about this before we got even into the game. Classic is so good at putting himself in a winning position versus Byun, and then Byun wins anyways. And that seems to be what is happening right here, as Byun on the right side, or excuse me, the left side, he's got this massive army. He's only on 56 workers, but honestly, he's still got plenty of mules, just building more and more and more Vikings there, as finally the DTs find this last mining base, or one of the last mining bases from Byun. So Byun, he retook the orbital here, but it's only 16 mineral patches. He really is not mining all that much, but his Classic lost the left side base. Neither really is Classic, as the army goes forward. Great EMPs on top of everything. And every time those EMPs go off, you just don't feel like you can fight as the Protoss player. So it really does all down to the Dark Templar to continue to snipe these bases, to continue to execute pressure onto Byun's side of the map, to force him to split his attention, where maybe, just maybe, a storm can go off, a disruptor can go off, and suddenly Classic feels like he can take the fight just a little bit more. And DTs find their way into the natural. Vikings will land, but, well, the DTs, they have Shadow Stride. They should be able, actually, they're even just going to run. They don't even need a blink. And Byun brings his entire army backwards, and this is exactly what Classic was looking for. He lost 16 probes, but he still has 2k in the bank, so, I mean, he can build, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, he can build like 6 probes at a time. Stalkers, please kill this Viking. There we go. So, you don't want to take any damage right now. Yes, shield batteries can heal you up, but those shield batteries are also important to make sure you can take the fight. As Classic is maxed out once again. His gas bank, though, is starting to fall down a little bit more. Less than 1,000 gases. He does have plentiful minerals yet still. And remember, we say he's maxed out, but 2 carriers still in production. So DTs on the other side looks like they have been dealt with for the most part. Scans spent right there. As DTs on the north side, well, they're not going to find a base. Byun has not tried to take that one for a while, and that missile turret should eventually fall. So at this point, Byun is only mining off this left base. I mean, yeah, it looks like there's 1 mineral patch. 160 minerals in it, and that base. 2 mineral patches here. 90 minerals, 360. Byun's on 1 base and a little bit mining, and I'm not even sure. Yeah, that only has 6 mineral patches. So Byun does have to start taking these bases on the bottom side that Classic took from him at one point. So we see him taking his squads, because this army from Byun, while it maybe struggles in his straight up fight, is much more mobile, so much more mobile than what Classic has access to. So I think the better play for Classic is he's just going to give this up. Not worth it, not worth worrying about. Take the base that Byun's trying to take. Attack through that position, because your army is truly a death ball. Although 30 Vikings and 12 Ghosts on the other side means that Byun's army is kind of a death ball too. So Classic kind of opting into a base trade as well in this game, on the understanding that he can recall. So he's going to find 2 more planetaries here. They've been there for a while, but realistically, killing this base doesn't matter. It has literally 235 minerals on it, very little gas. What is that? No gas actually, as it mines out. So yeah, good job, Classic. You got a base, but the base doesn't really matter. If you can knock down maybe some Terran production, if you can find yourself in a position that forces Byun to take the fight into you, maybe you're going to be happy, but that's a carrier in the middle of the map. Byun's going to be able to snap this down with extreme alacrity. And this is so scary now, Classic. Do you recall? What do you do? Because you're trapped in the middle of the map. The Terran army is between you and your home, and he's going to look to try to snap it all down. Keep the High Templars in the back, Disruptors forward, and the Stalkers as well. Classic understands the type of position he's in. He doesn't have an ability to scan, but he just has a read on this game, so he's going to keep sending those Disruptors out, trying to zone Byun out here, staying away from the scans as they are. Vikings on the high ground are going to find great pot shots, but Stalkers move forward. There's just no splash here. Storms are fantastic. 20% damage on every single Viking. We need a couple more, though. We need more, and this army from Classic is so heavily bruised. Classic lost the bottom left base, by the way, so he is only mining on this base. 7 mineral patches, all that remain. And yes, Byun has lost an orbital. He's lost a couple planetaries here, but he has this fresh mining base. Well, I don't even know that we can call it fresh, to be totally honest, because Classic did mine a decent amount out of it. Zealous will find these tanks as well, so that's going to go down. Classic recalled, I think, onto the bottom side. That seems to be... Yeah, that seems to be his entire army, so he's going to try to maybe catch Byun out of position a little bit, but he doesn't recall his entire carrier force. That's a bit of a problem. That is, actually, you need your entire army here. EMPs do a decent job, actually. Storms don't get nearly as much. And the problem here, you want these Archons, right? That splash damage versus air is incredible. But with Ghosts on the field, Archons, they're just balloons. They pop so hard. More Archons are on the way. Classic spending the last of his gas bank here. And Byun, he's got to keep this base alive. Really, it is his only mining base. 3 mineral patches, almost nothing. And Classic is really not mining all that much either. 1,000 minerals. But now, moving forward, EMP's lagging just a little bit, so Archon gets something. And now, here we go. Classic thinks he's got a position to break this position. Now, Disruptor Shot gets a couple ghosts, but not really. Storms, though, on the Vite. Oh, the Storm drops on the high ground. It's not enough, but it forces all the Vikings back, and that means Byun loses this base. 14 workers go down. Ghosts fall as well. Classic up 30 supply. And remember, Byun's bank is not really where it needs to be. That Storm drop, it was so freaking ballsy with the Warp Prism. Yeah, you got Warp Prism speed, but I would like to remind you all, there are 19 Vikings. There were even more in the sky. If you get found out, the Vikings, they just knock that down. Suddenly you lose Tide Templar, you lose your position. But as it stands, Classic's able to reestablish this base in the bottom left side, which is just, in fairness, starting to mine out, but he needs the money. And Byun is broke as a joke. He's mining 300 minerals a minute. I guess so too is Classic, really. Trying to long distance mine somewhere. Zealots on the north side. Classic has this mineral bank that he can look to leverage. 5 Vikings at a time for Byun. And he's going to find these Zealots. That's actually massive. Classic, you got to run away here. But, well, you're going to run away with some of them. And they just die so quickly at this point. The Classic. That scout was important because now he can move on to the north side, finding really what is now the last mining base of Byun. Byun had that other base, but this one, it is the last of the money. And the Archons, the Tempest, they're going to knock it down so quickly, but even still, Classic does not want this fight. He does not want to opt into this. He understands that he's in a winning position. He just needs to reestablish his economy, and forcing Byun to not mine is as powerful as actually killing the base. So now the Tempest will run forward. And remember, we're kind of at one-shot potential almost with the Tempest here, with the Vikings. But oh no, one carrier lags behind just a little bit. Storms, where are they? Storms, where are they? They're not going to be there just yet. The Warp Prism is so scary if you're a Classic fan. Warp Prism is so terrifying if you're a Classic fan, but he's going forward with it, and that does force Byun back once again. We got to point this out. Byun has actually 0 money. He has no minerals in the bank. He's got 1,000 gas, but he needs to find some method of mining in this game. But we're not in a situation where Classic can say, YOLO, I have an economy and you don't here. Because remember, Classic is not mining all that much either. He's mining more in comparison, but it's only 1,000 minerals. And Byun, he has to find a way to take this base. It's not even the best base for him, but he needs to find some way to take it. And the Vikings, they're going to find a position here. One carry will fall immediately. Stalkers blink forward. And where is the Warp Prism? Right in the middle of things. It runs forward, but it's in scan range. So that is, you don't want to do that. Gotta be very careful. I think the orbital just fell down. Stalkers in a good position. EMPs blanket them, so they have to run away, have to retreat. And this Warp Prism. This Warp Prism is everything. If it does not get the Storms, the Vikings reign supreme. If it does, the Vikings, well, they all go down. EMPs with so many ghosts here. So this sieged up position for Byun, it represents so much threat. And I can't believe that. I can't believe that we're talking about this as if Byun is still in this. I mean, look at the supply differential, but Byun's army is still terrifying. And he has, by establishing this position in the middle, he's bought himself 3 more mineral patches. He finds a couple Zealots on the side, but now he's going to try to take the fight. EMPs again blanket this army. Zealots run forward at this point. Oh, the Warp Prism goes down, and actually this means Byun, if there's a time he can turn, it is right now. And the Bio goes forward, but the Viking count at this point just feels a little bit too low. It's only 13 of them, only 12, but the army supply is falling back down so quickly here. Byun's got a stim and run. Great split going forward. Disruptor shots looking for everything, but no, Byun snipes every single one of them down. Interceptors, though, 29 remain. Classic, he's not mining, but neither is Byun, and he runs out of money. There's a reason I love this rivalry. Ho, ho, ho. Classic takes game 1. Red, he is down 1 off a marathon Moondance game where you thought he was coming back. He's Byun. In the upper right, in the blue, up 1-0. Give it up, folks. It's Classic. So we got a pylon on the map from Classic pretty early here, trying to take advantage of maybe some perspective shenanigans, or really of some perspective weakness from Byun. Because remember, Byun goes and he loses a marathon of a game where it did feel like he was really coming right back into it. Didn't work out, but what a better way to do it than to go for, actually, it's funny, I talk about this build as the Classic build, and we're going to have to see if it works out here. So you get your first gateway, you get your cybercore, then you get your second gateway on the other side of the map. And yes, you build zealots. That's fine. But this pressure is more about the stalker play. It does a great job of really keeping the Terran off their natural for quite a while. And as you have stalkers, you don't have zealots. Well, as your stalkers, you don't have zealots. You then run into this problem where suddenly the Marines that would kill the zealots fairly easily and rebuild the natural, reestablish presence in the natural, well, they're not viable anymore. They don't do anything. Stalkers can knock them down. Reapers, same idea. So it delays the natural. It's more expensive. It's more of a commitment, but it does delay the natural a lot longer. And oh no, Byun, he's got his natural on the way on the low ground, which is exactly what Classic wants. This is a dream for Classic here in this game number 1. We're gonna have to see whether the dream of Nightmare is, or a dream of Classic is the nightmare of Byun. So, okay. They're going to find the Zealot, they're going to find the Stalker, but 2 Reapers and a Hellion is a decent amount of stuff, and Adept joined the fray as well as the second Stalker. So this army from Classic is just not something that Byun can fight whatsoever. So the natural will be delayed. The goal from Classic is to actually force the cancel, though, and Byun obviously does not want to make that happen. So SCVs are going to get pulled here with a second Hellion as well, and that actually means these Adepts are not incredibly powerful. The Zealots, not incredibly powerful. The bonus damage versus light. But, okay, one Stalker goes down. This is a great micro here from Byun. 2 SCVs go down, but the majority of the army of Classic falls. And now that means that even as he's building more stuff, he does need to hike backwards just a little bit. Second Stalker getting very low. Second Stalker will now go down. And because Classic put this so far away from the base, it does mean that the reinforcements that normally would come fairly quickly here are instead much slower. Much, much slower indeed. And that means that Byun can continue to build Reapers and Hellions, and in a way that I never see this get held, he's holding here with Reaper Hellion, which seems crazy, but if you just need units to make sure that you can fight your opponent's units, and you're Byun, and you have micro that is a literal World Championship caliber, it will work out, because the Reapers now with 3 of them, and the Hellion as well, the Stalkers will continue to fall. Byun now gets on top of the pylon, and doesn't kill the Stalker, because he's a kind and generous god. That Stalker should have died, folks. Of course. See people asking sometimes about what data C mean. What's the joke? Well, weta is beta. Take it from me, undata C. Because of course, data C is a water map. It's an underwater map, and if you pronounce data C the right way, it sounds like you're under the sea. As the bunker goes up, bunker goes down. Can't explain that. More Stalkers will arrive. It's only 3 of them this time because 3 Stalkers have already gone down. Bunker canceled for the second time. Unfortunate there for Byun, and Classic is continuing with this pressure. He got forced back, and the Reapers holding this is actually really impressive. But now we're looking at 5 Stalkers, and that is a lot more firepower. But as the tank shows up here, Banshee as well. Classic takes a big shot. Now the Stalkers, they got to run away. They cannot take this fight anymore. Blink is on the way now, but it's about a minute and a half from completion. Stalkers move forward, but tank takes the time where the Stalkers are out of base to reposition himself even further, and another Stalker will fall. So this has not got the damage that Classic wants. Yes, the natural was delayed. They really lost more than that. So now we have a Robo on the way. Now Classic advancing his tech a little bit more, but this is going to be 4-gate blink beyond this, and I feel like this is probably what Classic has to do. I don't know that he can go into just a solid mid-game, take a third base, be fine, because again, Byun didn't take that much damage. The Reapers and Hellions are going to find their way in, and this will actually be a couple dead probes. But the thing it is not really a scout. You want to see the additional, you want to see the 2 additional gateways on the high ground, but that is one thing that Classic will deny. So 3 workers go down. Classic and Byun equal on worker count. So Classic now getting ready. His blink is just about done. He's got a third base on the way now, but make no mistake about it, folks. Classic needs to get some level of damage done. He is not, I mean, the Terran has been trading places with him in terms of worker count for the last couple minutes. And that is, when Terran has mules, horrible situation for the Protoss to be in. But remember, Classic, not only does he have the Robo, right, so he can get a War Prism if he wants, so he can get Observers, really was what he's using, he has this gateway on the map. So he is sitting on 4 gateways, and he will have some high ground vision eventually, but we're not seeing him use that just yet. The tanks are too scary. He's got charge on the way, additional gateways, and I thought this was going to be more committed pressure than it is, but he was just getting his... Oh, those Banshees are... That Banshee's not going to get anything. I thought this was him getting ready for some pressure, but instead it's him absorbing some pressure from Byun, taking very little damage done. Stalker's on the high. Ooh, that's a rather nice. Here's going to delay a couple barracks from going in, and maybe getting a reactor as well on this additional barracks in the corner to build the first Reaper. And there we go. Blink in, blink out. It's something. A couple SCVs go down, and that's a good start here from Classic, but I cannot help but feel that he doesn't need more. So what he's going to look to do as Byun takes this third base, we can assume Byun will move out at some point. And then with his charge done, you flood the Terran, you're surrounded with a bunch of zealots, and even if you're down a little bit in army supply, you can take the fight pretty easily. But now as the Stalkers move forward, they eat a tank shot, but it takes more than that to kill off a nice, healthy, strapping young Stalker. So Immortal's on the way. Actually, Immortal is done. Charge on the way. Oh, good blink there on the low ground. Knocks the tank down. And Classic immediately unsieges that Observer. He wants to put it in a different spot, a little bit less vulnerable spot, because you can understand that Byun knows that there's an Observer there after Stalker's blink from the low ground to kill one of his tanks. We got a double drop from Byun. Going to look to try to find his way into... Actually, looks like... Yeah, okay, the main base here. Unloading. And is this a recall from Classic? He's going to warp in, but he's actually... His Zealots, they warp in, but they are in... that is a horrible Sim City. This is a meat grinder if I've ever seen one. These Zealots, they just die immediately. So it has to be a recall. Stalkers... there's actually no anti-air on the natural. So one Stalker blinks forward, but... Well, Classic misses out on his opportunity. Oh, no, he won't. Medevac will fall, and that's something at the very least. What is this we see from Classic? Warping in a couple Stalkers, trying to catch the second side. He will find it on the right side. It goes down. That's about 20 supply from Byun hitting the deck, and maybe this is going to be Classic's opportunity to try to break this third base of Byun. Tank on the higher ground, tank on the lower ground, but I think it's only the 2 of them. Yes, it is. Knocking down that third tank from Byun early on was an incredible move from Classic. Okay, here comes Classic moving forward, popping that Guardian Shield. Zealots run forward, but the Widowmines, they target down the main army here. Anti-armor missile as well. Stalkers playing on the left side, looking for that concave, but the tanks are still free-firing on the high ground, on the low ground. One tank on the low ground will go down, but this army of Classic is getting annihilated, eviscerated, destroyed. Classic, that did not work for you, my friend. Not at all. Now Byun takes the worker lead despite losing a couple. What did Classic get out of that? Got a tank, got a couple Widowmines, got a couple Marauders. That is really, really not enough. Oh, that's not what I want. Sorry about that, folks. And now Classic will lose his position on this gateway. But Stalkers, they rotate around, and they are incredibly mobile, so they blink forward, trying to knock the Raven down. Successful in that endeavor. Zealots find their way into the third base. Honestly, Zealots just want to sit on top of these SCVs and let the tank kill them for them, but still 5 workers do go down, and the cost of a, well... Actually, cost of a couple Zealots. Maybe not cost efficient, but the Raven certainly validates that one. So now Byun getting a little bit more active on the map. 20 army supply in the good. He's got his 2-2 on the way. Enhanced shockwaves on the way as well as the Zealots waiting for that opportunity. So they will find their way into the third base. But the defensive tank, I mean, it's going to knock these down eventually. He had a couple ghosts here as well, and that's going to be free ghosts. So Classic's going to be pretty happy about that one. Maybe getting, no. Not with the additional ghosts here. Good kiting there from Byun. Make sure the tank knocks it down without losing the ghost. But still, hey. 3 SCVs, a Marine, a ghost and a half. Not terrible. So into Disruptors, Classic goes. No stop in the bank for some Colossus, and I think this is fair. Classic is down pretty far. You know, that pressure from him at the start of the game didn't really work out. And then the attack that he did absolutely did not work out, even after he had killed about 20 of Byun's army supply in medevacs. So you go Disruptors. Disruptors are that comeback tool, whereas Colossus needs strong units in front of him just to sit to tank. And Classic just does not have the money for that. So instead, he's going to hope for burst, hope for maybe Byun to not micro, maybe Byun to overcommit, as he is wont to do. So here comes Byun. 162 supply, almost 100 army supplies. 2-2 not done, but enhanced shockwaves far more important. He's gonna look to try to just land shockwaves on those disruptors. It's actually, Classic goes a little wide on the backside. He's not gonna get that one, but that should get a couple marauders. There we go, at least something, but it's only 3 disruptors right now. 2 on the way at any given time. And we might have one near the third base. That is at least what Classic is hoping for, is more disruptors. They are starting to join the field. And the first set of disruptors, well, they're gonna come off cooldown soon enough. So Byun, he's going to struggle to find his way on the high ground. And actually, that was a pretty good engagement from Classic. At the end of the day, we look at supply. Byun had a significant army supply lead. And now Classic is the one minorly ahead. So he's in a good spot. Resources last. Starting to equalize a little bit more. Byun with that, again, minor efficiency advantage. But Classic is not up a base. That's the big problem. It's 4 bases to 4. Big drop into the main base here. Stalkers warp in. Oh, no, he warps in at the third, not the main. It's going to have to be a full recall once again. And again, this Sim City is not Classic's friend. Those disruptor shots, they go out, they just can't get anything. In fact, Classic would love, I think, for Byun to kill some of his gateways, because then at least Classic can take the fight. These disruptors, they're really not getting what he wants. But now, Stalkers, they're not going to get any of the medevacs. Byun rotates around to the other side, where War Zealots will warp in. Disruptor shots drop preemptively. That's a nice shot there from Classic. So Byun, well, we're going to see a Zealot go down. For treason, high treason is the charge. Scan out of the main base once again, and Classic is just not respecting this drop potential from Byun. Part of it is the SimCity is really bad, but part of it also is just not keeping stuff in the main base. You're relying on his warpins, I guess, and I guess this, they can do well enough, but he's missing armor upgrades. So the Zealots, they don't do all that much. Your shield battery overcharge keeping this Nexus alive, so at least Classic is going to be able to stay on 4 bases. I don't think he sustains the 5th, though. Maybe the Zealot run by is going to find something, but no, Byun is just doing such a good job here, knocking down all these, knocking down all the run-bys. Oh, it looks like we had big disruptor shots, though. So Classic takes a decent fight, keeps his base alive, and the medevacs looks like they will be able to escape because there's not enough anti-air. Classic's army is starting to really hurt. His economy is not at the point where he can take these negative trades. It was a 1.5k disadvantage for Classic. Now it's 4. And the army of Byun continues to rally on forward. Classic is forced to cancel this base. He tried really hard to keep it alive, and that's not going to happen anymore. So disruptor shots. They knock down the Widow Mines at the very least. And at least the Zealots have +1 armor. They need +2. And at least more disruptors are on the way. But Classic, ooh, he's got a bit of an opportunity here. This is a run by from Byun, but it's pretty significant army supply-wise. So he's going to try to trap that in a corner, maybe knock the medevacs down. But even still, Byun, he's going to stim into the third base. Oh, Disruptor does not get what he wants. One full medevac, though, does go down. And Byun not quite pressing his positional advantage into the third base just yet. He's here and he's starting to set the table. The first course has not arrived just yet. And actually, great friendly fire on the Widow Mines. Byun picks up, though, and the same thing he's been doing this entire game. He shows up in the main base with about 7 medevacs worth of units. Just Classic has not been able to defend this entire game. So now the Cyber Core goes down, which means, hey, you can't build any more Stalkers, which is how you want to defend this run by anyways. Disruptor shot is going to go out, but it started from a little bit too far back, so Byun is not worried about that one, and he goes low ground once again. And as we see the ping pong happening here, Classic is really just starting to fall apart. He's not dead just yet. He still has a respectable army. But he's down about 4 workers, and more importantly, Classic does not have this 5th base. Resource loss really starting to favor Byun at this point. I guess it's still about 4k, but that's still not great when the Terran has mules and you do not. So they drop the main base once again. That's a damn big Artosis pylon as well, but Byun not even choosing to target it down to the last second. Disruptor drop, actually, Byun picks up, though. He's going to be okay. And slowly, ever so slowly, Classic is starting to lose his production. He was on, I think, 10 or 11 gateways. Now he's on 7. He has not had the money or the time to rebuild them. So now, finally, some of these medevacs are going down, but really not enough of them. A Disruptor gets saved. Good job there, Classic. But I'm just waiting for the next punch. The next round, Byun's on 3-2. It's 2-1 for Classic. He does not have the upgrades that he needs. And well, what is this? 7 medevacs have died. I mean, that's 53 dead Stalkers, 91 dead Zealots. as the snipe goes down there on the Zealots and Byun. He's going to try to find this position. Classic desperately needs this 5th base. He does not have really much money anymore, but it will get canceled once again. And if you're going to play this Blink Stock or Disruptor Zealot style, you need that base. You need that 5th base to really power the fact that you're not going to be trading incredibly, but at least you will have that much more money. And if Classic can't keep that alive, I mean, that's just a problem. So now drop from a different angle. And this has been the story of the entire game. I know I keep saying it, but Byun is finding these angles with the drops. Now, Disruptor drops won't even be enough to save Classic here. In fact, Classic kind of kills his own Classic kills his own probes with the Disruptors defensively. So at this point, Classic is dead, folks. It's a 200 supply to about 100 here. This push might get cleaned up, and actually Disruptors on the bottom side. Wait a minute. Still double army supply. But those were sounds like some good Disruptor shots. But 4 Marauders into medevac on the high ground. Widowmine's finding more. Byun drops in once again. EMPs on the Disruptors makes it very hard for them to go forward because, well, they can get targeted down. 40 workers have died in the span of the last minute or so. Man, I'm so sad, though. Like, we have this quality of game. And we had that last game, which was also incredible. And then Byun and Classic played in TSL, and I cast their series. I was so excited. I'm like, man, these players always bring it. It's so good. And Classic stomped Byun. It was not close. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, at least it's good for Classic fans. Byun will be able to knock down the 4th base of Classic at this point. Widowmine's hit well enough. Oh, EMP is on the Disruptors. Byun, okay, maybe he's going to overcommit a little bit too hard, but still. Doubling army supply. Disruptors, they're doing what they can, and they're doing a whole hell of a lot. I don't even want to know how many kills those Disruptors have, but the drop from Byun is too powerful. 152 supply to 46 as the game ends, and folks, we go to game 3. In the upper left, folks, for Prep Esports in the red. He took a marathon game 1, but unfortunately the drop's too powerful in the second. He is the Protoss player. It's Classic. In the upper right, in the blue. Oh, masterful drops in game 2. It's Byun. So do we see double gas from Byun again? Doesn't look like it. But you never know. I don't know that we see that type of pressure from Classic in this game 3, though, because realistically, Classic won the game that he played straight up and just took it to the late game. I mean, it was on a razor's edge for the majority of the game, but even still, you know, Classic took it. Seem to be fine. Hopefully Dave Testa stays alive. So for now, really it is just kind of a standard opening. We can expect Byun is going to take his natural in the pocket base because, well, that is the strength here of Stargazers for Terran. That is why it is such a Terran map over anything else, because you can go and you can build your command center, and then your SCVs can mine from this while it's turning into an orbital. And by the time the orbital is done, the mineral patches are mostly mined out, or may actually mine out just a little bit sooner, and then you lift it over and you're fine. Classic for his part, nothing too interesting at the moment. Again, we saw him try. Well, is he? Please. Oh, okay. He's not taking the gold. I got excited. I was hoping. There's no way Classic takes the gold here. No, absolutely not. But Byun going very greedy, man. Going very, very greedy indeed. He's got his 3rd base on the way. The question is, does he have the 2nd barracks? Does he have the 3rd barracks? Because Byun has this build there. There we go. Byun has this build where it's effectively a 3 racks, but you take the 3rd base at 220, 230. And what this means is your tech is delayed, tremendously delayed. Your factory, your starport, might as well not even worth talking about almost. And your upgrades, similar idea, but you get so much economy and such a powerful stim combat shield push that it feels very hard for the Protoss to deal with, because they have to hold impeccably. And they have to cut corners to make sure that they don't die to the 20-odd Marines. But on the flip side, you're getting so much money behind it. So it is definitely punishable. It really is punished by holding off the aggression and then just being greedy yourself, and it works out. But it's such a cool build. It's such a cool build, and Byun, he brings it out occasionally. He doesn't bring it out enough for me because I'm always interested to see how players interact with it, but it does make me happy. Is the Adept on the low ground? It's just be annoying. I mean, Classic knows what's happening. No, sorry, he doesn't know what's happening here. He knows that there is a base being taken in the pocket position anyways, because this Byun is most likely 99 games out of 100 not one basing him. There's an opportunity, but most likely not going to be the case. So he has this gateway, and this gateway is important for a couple of reasons. Not only is it, hey, it's additional gateway, you can build things, but it's a scout. It allows him to see what is up. So we have one gateway on the map, second and third on the way. I'm sorry, more than that one. We are going for a 6-gate blink all in here in game number 3. Oh, well, you know what? For all the marbles for a shot at Solar in the finals, Classic has landed all on the line, and I cannot say I hate it, because there's the factory, there's the building that actually deals with stalkers. Reigns don't really. So, and especially, right, because of the map, because you have vision of the high ground. You don't need any extra high ground vision to blink up in the main, or into the natural in this case, I guess. So Classic's gonna have so much. And also, this pylon warp in position. He can warp in on the low ground. Didn't even think about that. There we go. This build is a Stargazer's build. It's tailor-made for this game number 3 as he finds his way on the high ground. Stalk's blink forward, finds a lot of Marines, but Stim is not yet done, so it really is ring around the rosy here. Stalk's looking for that opportunity. They will find oh, actually, they got to go high ground here. They're gonna see everything. This is so important. So they're gonna see the additional barracks. They're going to, yeah, there they go. They see the additional barracks. They see the third base. They know what's up. I would like to believe that Classic knows what's up here, but this build is so arcane from Byun. We don't see it all that often. So Classic, how do you choose to respond? 6-gate blink, 5-gate blink, I guess, is a valid option. But Classic's just taking his third. Okay. Interesting. He's getting the robo as well. I guess he thinks that with 5-gate, he can just hold on to this one fairly easily. This bunker actually is going to go down pretty quickly, so that's going to be a nice little bit of a trade. But losing Stalkers is not ideal. Stalkers looking for that concave, but really we're not hitting limitless Stalker counts just yet. They do have to run backwards. There is no concussive shell, so at least they can run, and a Stim has been forced on a good portion of this army. And 3 Stalkers on the north side. You got to get the 4th, though. 4th is what one-shots SCV. So Classic trying to buy some value, trying to buy some time on the right side, and he will lose a couple Stalkers here, but he trades for Marines. Meanwhile, Stalkers on the other side. Oh, Classic missed the blink. So it's taking 2 shots to kill the SCVs. And the army of Byun is going to try to respawn. Byun is actually handling this on both sides very well indeed. But as the Stalkers blink out, they will be fine. More Stalkers are ready. Classic, he's got nothing in the production tab right now. 3 probes at a time because his third base is now complete. Observer on the way, and it is all about these 15 Stalkers. Oh, wait, Byun, he's in the main base. Classic thinks he sees opportunity, and I think he does. He's going to find a Marauder here pretty quickly. Actually, no, he's not. That Marauder stays alive. But SCV's now have to get pulled. Blink's going to be off cooldown in a second here. So Byun getting punished, really, just by this Blink control, this Blink micro from Classic. But it's not perfect. 8 SCVs go down, but still Classic loses a couple Stalkers. And this is 11 dead Stalkers in this game for 14 SCVs, 15 Marines, and a couple Marauders. But RoboBay is on the way behind this, and because of all the pressure that Classic has been putting on, well, there we go. Stalkers on the high ground. One Stalker blinks forward, trying to bait a shot. Wants to see what's happening, but the bio on the high ground is really well positioned. Even still, it's not a lot of it. The Marauders go down pretty quickly. Marines, they stim once again. They're going to very low. Stalkers actually blink forward here for Classic. There's a second round of reinforcements. I don't know that is exactly what you wanted to do. Classic is going to lose every little bit of Stalker play in this game. Yes, he got 13 workers, and the economy of Byun is shattered. But the army of Byun, absolutely not. 13 workers go down, but only 4 Marauders, 4 Marines for 16 Stalkers. And I don't know about that one, Classic. He's got 5 Zealots on the map. And Byun, we got to imagine he's pushing now. We got to imagine he's going to see this opportunity. And there he goes. Bio still playing defensively. Still making sure that he does not die too hard. That some sort of blink run by does not kill him off. But now Byun is unlocked on the map as this Adept is buying time. We'll be able to shade out. But if you don't have this position, if you don't have this scouting, if you don't have dominance on the north side, suddenly the drop pressure from Byun that was so powerful that won him game number 2 is there. Suddenly Byun's going to start dropping in the main base, putting pressure on the third. But Colossus are on the field now, at the very least. It's only one of them, but at least it is some semblance of power. And beyond the very least, okay, starting, he knocks the gateway down. He knocks the pylon down. Nice. Classic is trying to take the gold base behind this, but the multi-prong from Byun. I feel like this is Classic just being a little bit too greedy. Shield battery overcharges pop preemptively, but the double drop in the high ground here. Oh, they're going to find the Robo Bay. At the very least, the Robo Bay goes down, so no more extended thermal lance. Zealot's not fighting all that well on the other side either, but Byun, I feel like he's just about to break right through here on two sides. Stimming forward here. Shield battery overcharge. Shield battery in general has been depowered. There's only one Colossus here on the high ground. Classic's losing his lunch, his dinner, his breakfast the next day. It was a cool build. It was a cool idea from Classic, but it will not work out as Byun picks up on this side. Bunch of probes going down. Classic is dead. Byun, he's got a date with Solar in the finals.